This is recorded in front of a non-existing audience.
Hi, audience.
But we're coming to you. If you can see us on video, on YouTube, you can definitely see us. But if you're listening to us, hello. You can't see us waving and all that.
Yeah, so who are we?
So who are we? So, I think my name is Will, and I got two people next to me. Luke's to my right, and then I got Cassie to my left.
Well, Will, first off, what are we?
What are we? Oh,
we're really nailing these intros the
We're-
first two episodes.
I love it.
we are people, and this is the Freelance Network podcast.
So, Will, tell us what the Freelance Network podcast is.
I
I'm
st- I
putting him on the spot so
I
hard
st-
right now.
This is interesting, but
Well, I
think
mean, I
after-
feel like Cassie can tell us.
I think after this podcast, one of us is gonna have to go after this intro. But so we are the Freelance Network, and we are content creators giving a platform to other content creators. This is our second episode, actually. So if you are coming from our first one, welcome back. Actually, I heard a statistic that most podcasts fail after episode 7, so let's try to make it to 8.
Yes, 8's a great number. We'll
Yeah.
make it there.
And we could fail
Absolutely.
after. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we'll show statistics wrong. We'll make it to 9. I'm gonna
yeah.
predict that.
Yeah, I mean, overachieving.
Yeah.
Love that.
But yeah, like Cassie was saying, just a huge thank you to everybody. Because I don't know about you guys, but like the amount of love we've been shown and support is pretty awesome after only one episode.
Yes. What, 150 YouTube views?
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of views on Spotify, iTunes, and Spreaker, and our Facebook.
Our Facebook is
right,
blowing up.
Right now, we're 4 likes away from 100. So let's get that 100, okay?
Yeah, let's get that 100.
After
100.
only one episode, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, and then like 50-something followers on Instagram, I'm pretty sure. But
Yeah, I think
I mean,
we're at,
for
like,
one
53.
episode, I think we should all be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the amount of people who came out and asked to be on our podcast already,
Oh, yeah,
It's
definitely.
amazing.
Which we're excited to have all of you on at some point.
Absolutely.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, like there were so many content creators that just, came out of the woodwork.
And
they're
they
like,
they
"Hey."
seemed like genuinely excited about this idea that like this is just a podcast straight up just talking about making stuff and how people do it differently. And I mean, I feel like a lot of people who reached out do things differently and could be really interesting guests. So I think that after episode 1's pretty good success, but it's just us this episode because we want to talk about ourselves more.
Yeah, we just wanted to get a little more detail in before we start bringing on guests and talking about their careers and stuff. So and get more of a feel for what we're gonna do.
And, like who we are, and just because the first episode was a good intro, but I think now we'll kind of get more into what we create and why we create it, which I think is a really important thing to talk about, and what we hope to get out of each guest too.
Absolutely. And then also too, if you saw the first one and you're watching the second one, notice that we all switched seats.
Yeah, we
So-
like to keep things spicy here at the
Yeah.
Freelance Network.
Yeah, spice it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
one of us one day is going to just go from this corner over here.
Yeah, and the best part is if they're listening to it on Spotify
They
or
won't
Spreaker
know.
or iTunes, they have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're just
So
sitting
just
in
use your
different seats.
visual cues.
Yeah,
like
just-
think about it really hard in your head, like where we're sitting.
Just know it's different.
Yes.
But yeah.
So Will was the one who actually came up with the topic that we wanted to talk about today. So Will,
I actually forgot the topic.
this
It's
is fantastic.
I'm exhausted right
Yes,
now.
no,
But,
it's all right.
But before we really start getting going into it, we got one of the biggest followers ever. To
Oh,
follow
that's
us.
right.
Ooh,
I forgot
yes.
about this. Well, all right. So Will, you start because he followed you first
Okay, so like Thursday before class, I was just chilling on one of the couches
at Stockton University.
here at the Stockton University,
The
and I saw one of John Cena's tweets, and I'm like, what? I love this guy. He's just so motivational. And I just clicked like, and 30 seconds later, it said John Cena followed you. I'm like, this is a scam. This is just a fake account. And I click on it, and it was him. I'm like, oh my god, he literally just followed me. And I'm like, why did he follow me?
Well, so then I saw that and I was like, wow, like I want John Cena to follow me on Twitter. And it's like, what was it, Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Saturday, I'm just chilling. John Cena tweeted something super inspirational because that's what he does. That's what he does. It's a great follow on Twitter. But I just retweeted it. And like Will, 30 seconds later, I look and see John Cena followed me. And I immediately text them. And I'm like, guys, John Cena followed me. And Cassie was all like, wow, I feel left out.
Yeah, no, naturally I was just like, wow, like because he also followed Will's girlfriend, Allison. So I was like, wow, okay, like, what? And I usually retweet and like his stuff anyway because it is very inspirational.
Very inspirational.
So I was like, whatever. So I retweeted one of his tweets, and then a few hours later, I was getting a pedicure, and that was important to the story.
It is.
And I saw that John Cena followed me too. And I freaked out, and the guy who was giving me my pedicure was like, "Oh, it's that guy that goes like this." So if you're listening to this, you wouldn't know what I just did. But
It's his signature hand motion.
yeah,
The
but,
doctor of thugonomics.
Yes, that we saw at WrestleMania this year.
Yes, that was a very good adventure.
Yeah, fun fact, Will and I were at WrestleMania this year. Anyways, nothing to do with this podcast.
Yeah, no.
So
not at all.
that was interesting that Freelance Network is officially sponsored by John Cena.
Yeah, he's the director. 'Cause
Hey,
Yeah,
it's on-
if
it's
you saw on the
clapboard.
clapboard, you'll see on Instagram and Facebook the picture. John Cena, director. He directs our lives with advice, so it only made sense.
Honestly, he could literally just run my whole life with his advice.
Yeah.
So
But speaking of that, so Will came up with the topic and Will forgot it because Will's had a rough week, but it's all right.
I
So-
worked 2 doubles.
Yeah.
Just doing inventory.
Yes, but
Yeah.
so the topic Will came up with was motivation because obviously you have to have some kind of motivation to be able to do this stuff. So maybe we'll all just kind of talk about like where we started, how we figured it out, and then why we keep doing it. So, I mean, Will, I feel like you should lead off. I'm
All
putting you
right.
on the spot, but I have a good feeling about this.
So I have a couple of different kind of motivational things I watch, inspirational stuff. And it kind of started out with Steve Harvey. Because I was just like on YouTube, I was kind of going through like a rough point this summer. And I don't know, I was just watching his videos. And it was just like he went from being homeless to all of a sudden being like the most successful just television personality ever. He went from rags to riches. And he would just talk about like, I always went to the suburbs. My dad drove me there. He was just like, Daddy, could we just get a horseshoe driveway? And he goes, we can't afford it. And Steve Harvey goes, now own 7 houses with a horseshoe driveway. And he would just keep on like talking about what like motivates him. And then I slowly got into Gary V.
Gary V.
At Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes,
That's
Gary.
what he always does on his podcast intros. And he always just interviews some of the, I don't know, just like so many like great people through either doing like sports or goes to all these conferences all around the world. Like he was in Australia,
Well, I mean,
England.
he himself is also very motivational too.
Oh, yeah,
not
he's
just
very
the guests.
motivational.
But
He just curses all the time, but
Yeah,
it's just like
but
it
he-
just punches
he
you. It's
doesn't
just like,
care.
you know what?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's kind of like
gotta-
the draw of him is like at first you're like, who is this very angry man? And then you're like, wait, he's saying great words. Like we should listen to him. So, but yeah, so keep going.
Yeah, like I listen to his podcast. Like I drive 45, 50 minutes to here 4 days a week. So I listen to 6 podcasts a week just commuting. Listen to one on the way down, one on the way back. And, he just talks about just motivating people. Like that's how we started the podcast last week because originally we weren't going to start till
October. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, we were kind of just like in the studio before class, and we were like, you know what?
We were kind of
Let's
just
do it.
looking at all the gear. Well,
Yeah.
because Will, you played specifically a
Yeah.
clip from a podcast.
I played a specific clip from a podcast, and I'm going to
So
quote
it's
the name of
yeah,
that podcast.
it's the Gary V Experience is the
The
podcast
Gary
that we're
V
talking about.
Experience. It's not now is the best time. I forgot which one it was, but I didn't finish it, but it must have finished it for me.
So essentially, Will had texted me the night before and was like, Luke, I need you to listen to this. And I was helping Cassie edit a video. And then I went home and fell asleep because helping Cassie edit drained me.
It drains
Figures.
me too, Luke.
Yeah, it drains
It really
you.
does.
Yeah. But so Will was like, listen to it. And then I didn't get to it. And the next morning, we're standing in this office. And Will's like, did you listen to it yet? And I kind of like had a look on my face like, oh, I let my friend down. Like, oops. And then he was
Typical.
like, listen to it right now. But he made us sit in these chairs before we listened to it. So we listened to it. And I mean, you explain what it said because this
Yes.
is yours. Yeah.
So, he was having a couple phone interviews with a few different people that wanted to talk to his one guest. I can't remember the guy's name. I feel like a clown now because I can't remember him. And this guy's like, I'm about to start up my podcast. He goes, dude, that just makes me smile. Going to start. He just goes, start tomorrow. start today. And he's
And
like,
then post tomorrow. That's what he
start
said.
today, post tomorrow. And he's like, I'm trying to get my graphics. And they're just like, no. You're doing it now. You're calling us on a phone, right? He goes, yeah. He's like, that's your equipment. That's what you're going to do right now. So that's like.
So we listened to that, and we all just kind of looked at each other, and we were like, well, we have all of the equipment, and we were just saying we were going to start in October, so why not start now? So
that was a little bit of the inspiration to start.
Yeah, I mean, because like Gary Vee has been, I don't know if you followed him yet.
I don't. I just know that Will tweeted at him and tagged me, so I just retweeted
Yeah,
it.
well, Will and I have been following him for kind of a while now.
Yeah, I followed him for a little over a year.
Yeah, about a
and a
year.
half.
And just like his words, like his inspirational quotes and his TED Talks and that kind of stuff kind of led us to this in the first place. So
Well, can you explain who he is?
So
Because I genuinely don't know.
He's originally from the Soviet Union. And
like he was born there.
Yeah, and then he came over here with his parents.
In like the 70s or 80s, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was watching one of the NFL 100 games.
Yeah.
And he goes, I went up to these group of kids and they go, what kind of fan are you? And he goes, I don't know. And they all said, you're a Jet fan now. So now I'm happy I get to suffer with them a little bit.
But essentially,
too.
he's like an entrepreneur businessman that creates a ton of media and a ton of different content.
I love the one thing. He created like ordering wine off the internet in 1999.
Oh.
Like he started that and everyone said, you're not going to make it. You're not going to do it.
And now he has Empathy Wines and it's very successful.
He grew a liquor store from a $3 million to a $60 million profit. And he only made like $50,000 a year, and he left there with no money. And then he started VaynerMedia. He started all this stuff, and he just blew up into this just special guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so inspirational. If you don't follow him, at Gary Vee, he literally punches motivation down your throat.
Literally, yeah. Like I said, he's an angry man, but like an angry man with a great message. So
he gives you the wise words, and then there's the people that are like, I hated you. And it was just like, they go at him like, how can I do this? And he just says like a 4-word sentence and just punches it down your throat.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to check him out because I just hear you guys talk.
Well,
about him
and
all
we'll
the
send
time.
clips of him all the time too. But
Yeah.
no, he's great.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Yeah.
well, that's enough about Gary Vee. He gets a big shout out, but not the
Yeah.
entire episode.
He's also
When he's
not-
on the podcast, Gary, when you are on the podcast, we will talk about you for hours. But right now, Cassie, what motivates you?
Well, there's a couple of factors that motivate me. I would say probably just to get through this like major in college and starting my career and everything. One of my biggest motivations was my dad. He told me my dad passed away in February of 2018, and he repeatedly told me as I was going through college, the 2 things I want for you in life is to never touch a cigarette because he had lung cancer, and to be the first person in my family to get my bachelor's degree. So I've dropped out of college twice, but I've always went back because I wanted to be that person to get my bachelor's degree. And I actually almost gave up on this major and just tried something else just to get a degree. But I also had the motivation of my friends, and Luke actually was the one who got me to go back to college for communications. So honestly, without you, I wouldn't be here.
Oh.
But there's sappiness. I know you enjoy when
Yeah.
I'm somewhat sappy. Which
Usually
I'm
it's
not.
the other way around where I'm overly sappy.
Yeah. But so that kind of motivates me to get through. And then also Jimmy Fallon, got me over that hump. I went to his show in December 2018.
17.
So this past December.
Yeah.
Was it this?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
this past December.
Oh, it was. Okay, yeah.
You want to explain how you got the ticket?
Yeah, so
This is great.
Will's girlfriend Allison got the tickets through One Iota for his show, and she wrote it and was like, "Oh, it's me and my boyfriend's 2-year anniversary. I want to take him." And turns out the day that she got tickets, Will had class and really couldn't miss it, so she took me instead.
Well, because Will skipped too many classes
Yeah.
before that. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah.
I just had to throw you under the
So
bus.
I crashed your anniversary date, and it was one of the best nights of my life. Thank you for that, by the way. So Allison and I took the trip up to New York, went to a show, and we were front row, so you really couldn't see us on camera at all. But during the show, he had to set up for the musical performance, which was Ice Cube.
He was setting up like
So-
himself. He was putting the stage together and he was talking to everyone.
Yeah, clearly that's how that happens. So he decided to do a Q&A as they were setting up because it was like a pretty big performance. And I rose my hand and I was like, all right, this is my shot. Like, I'm going to ask him how to get into TV production, like what I should do, any advice. So I did. And he picked me and I asked him and I was all nervous and like my voice was stuttering. I looked like an idiot. But he, you know, gave me some great advice. And he was like, take any job you can get. Like, it's kind of just, you know, a lot of freelance work. You're not going to get paid very much when you start out. And he was like, if anybody tells you that they don't believe in you, tell them Jimmy Fallon believes in you. And I was like, oh, wow, like, that is amazing. Thank you. And I was like, kind of like shaking. And back then I was like going through treatments for Lyme's disease. So I would like forget things like right after they happened. So I was making Allison like write them down. But I was kind of like, I kind of blacked out after that moment. So I was like,
Well, I remember
wow.
getting a phone call from you. You were like in the train station. You were like, Luke, Jimmy Fallon said he believes in me. And I was like, you were at the taping. Like, you talked to him?
Yeah.
Like you had a conversation?
Yeah, no, but like the best part is like after that happened, I was like happy, and obviously like I would have been great with that. But after the show ends, he like runs up and down the aisles and he like gives everybody high fives. And since I was the front row, like all the way at the end, I was the last person to be there, and I went to go just get a high five from him, and he like went out of his way, came back to me, gave me a hug. And was like, I believe in you, you could do this, like, all this stuff. And it was, like, that moment where I was like, I really can do this. Like, this stranger, well, I'm a stranger to him. But, yeah, he's, like, going out of his way to tell me I can do this. So, you know, it motivates me to get along a little bit. So, yeah. No, and I just actually applied for his internship. So, hopefully I get accepted or get an interview or something. So, yeah. That's pretty much my motivation now. They're just looking at me like they don't know what to say.
I'm
But,
watching you.
Yeah.
Oh, that was nice.
Thank
That's
you.
exactly what the Undertaker told John Cena.
Oh my God.
That's
We're
the
not
best
going to
prank
escape
call
John
ever.
Cena
No.
this whole episode or
But, yeah.
ever.
So what about you, Luke?
Yes.
Well, it's like kind of hard to narrow it down. I mean, like I was thinking about it like since Will said it, and I'm just like it's like it really is hard to like think like what motivated you, but like out of something recently. So in November, Cassie and I were sitting in an airport, and it was the day before Thanksgiving, or what was it the day before Thanksgiving? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're sitting there and we're picking up her best friend Mike from LA. Shout out to Mike. I miss that dude.
Yeah, he wanted a shout out, so here's your shout out.
Oh yeah,
Mike.
here you go, Mike. But so we were waiting to pick him up, and Cassie just said, because we were sitting in an airport, and Cassie like started telling me about this YouTube channel that did a video where they went to LAX, and their goal was to convince somebody to cancel their flight and then fly with them anywhere in the U.S. And I was like, that sounds insane. Like that's not real. So we're sitting there, we watched the video. I'm just like, wow, like that's really cool. And the YouTube channel is called Yes Theory, and since pretty much the day after, I spent all of Thanksgiving binging their previous 2 years of work or 3 years of work. Since then, I've been trying to live my life by their motto, seek discomfort. And I think that, like, whenever I think about something that's, like, hard to do or, like, something new, a new experience, like, I think seek discomfort. And I think of all their videos where they highlight, like, personal growth and pushing themselves out of their comfort zone to grow as people. I think of that. And then that really motivates me to keep working because it's like such wholesome content where like they bring all kinds of people together from all over the world to do amazing things. And I think like I want to do that because like one of my dreams is to work for them and like be an editor or work on their team because they always do videos where they make their editors leave the editing room and like challenge them to do things, which I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna have to do that one day. But like I think it'd be cool. But that's like a big thing. And then also like Cassie said, like a support system with friends, like knowing that like I've been doing this like in school formally since 8th grade. So since 8th grade, I've like known people that have taken the class for 1 year, taken it with me every year. I even quit it at one point and came back. But just all those people I've met along the way, like they believed in me. So that motivates me to keep going, knowing that like all my professors, all my teachers, my friends, the people I've worked with. And then like now I'm starting to work freelance jobs. Like my boss is there. Shout out to Oakleaf Media. I'm pretty sure Brendan's the only one's going to listen though.
Yeah, probably.
And I hope that makes Brendan laugh because Dave and Kyle hate me but love me. But no, and then like just the people that continuously put faith in me, that fuels me to keep going. It fuels me to take another job and keep going because I like want to be able to like show that like they're not putting their faith in the wrong person. Like it's worth putting their faith in me and that I can like follow through with that stuff. Cause like this field's hard. It's competitive. It's long hours and like any aspect of it, like any track of it, like, cause we're all different tracks, but like we just do different stuff while we're at work, but the hustle is the same. Like that kind of stuff is the same. So I think that's like really big for me is like knowing that these people have put their faith in me and I want to like follow through on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the biggest things, especially with our major that I've noticed, is sometimes we kind of lose hope in like finding a job or, you know, just pretty much anything. And because it's so give and take that we kind of have to, you know, work together because one of us will lose motivation and we have to be like, listen, you're talented. Keep going.
You paid a lot for this piece of paper.
You paid a lot for this piece of paper, and you're not going to make a lot when you come out of school, so you have to keep going.
You have to keep going.
So
yeah.
you have to have that support system.
Definitely.
For your friends
well, I feel like the
it.
conversation you just said is something all three of us have had with each other multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, like I quit all of this sophomore year of high school. I just had like a panic attack and was like, I can't do this. I'm not cut out for it. And then for 3 years, the TV teacher, Leah Lucas, that woman changed my life, like straight up. She actively recruited me every single day of high school. She's like, I want you back in my class every single day for 3 years or 2 years. And then when I got there, she was like, all right, now I want you to take 2 classes and I want you to do double the work. And like without her, I wouldn't be here. And then like, I mean, I can remember Will after OCC, you didn't want to go anywhere. You wanted to just start working, right? Like I remember that.
Yeah, I was going through I've gone through a lot of rough moments because I wasn't sure really what I wanted to do because school's not my thing.
Well, it's like the regular school's not your thing. When it comes to this stuff,
when it comes to the program studies and you know what I want to do, like I'm okay with that. If I have to sit down and write papers, just like our theories of film.
Yeah.
Class.
I mean, that was a lot of writing for TV or film class.
And we didn't get a writing credit for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad.
That's
it's unavoidable. Like classes like that, it's like you work your ass off, but
that's like part of like the having to just deal with it, like deal with that stuff to get through, and then get to the classes that are worth taking. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I want to kind of get back on it because Luke said "seek discomfort," and that's kind of like his quote.
Yeah, it's been my lock screen since November.
I don't know if you have a quote
that
you kind of like.
Don't
live by.
Will's like, give us a quote, Cassie.
No,
we're like waiting.
Any quote that I live by is most likely a SpongeBob quote.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite SpongeBob quote?
Firmly grasp it in your hand. No.
This episode's explicit now.
No.
This interview is not sponsored by Viacom or Nickelodeon itself.
Anyways.
It depends on the situation. Like, I always have a SpongeBob quote ready. So.
Well, Will,
yeah, like I have one.
I was going to say,
so I made it my Twitter banner because I was kind of tired with, I don't know, just doing all the other stuff. So mine's an Albert Einstein quote, and I heard it from a Steve Harvey video I listened to.
This is a great train of thought right now because it's a Albert Einstein quote that is Will's Twitter banner from a Steve Harvey motivational speech. Go.
It's kind of like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't make Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. So
when you quote it, name all 3 people.
I hate when people quote that quote. Oh my god.
Imagination is everything. It is the preview to life's coming attractions. And right after he said that, it's very important that you have an imagination. Because if you imagine it, you can get there.
Imagination.
That's what I was doing in the SpongeBob quote.
Throw that in there.
We're just going to put like rainbows over it somewhere.
I'm not going to do that. It's going to take so long to render.
And I don't do post-production. Just kidding. I really... Okay,
actually, wait. I want to shout out Brandon Lee because Brandon Lee listened to the first episode and the first thing he said was, make Cassie the editor.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yes.
Thank you for that. But
well, we're going to make a nice little voting thing on the Instagram poll.
Yes.
Why would we do
Yes.
that?
Weekly editor this week. Who's gonna edit? And then it's
Okay.
gonna be like.
And the
just-
only option will be Cassie every week.
Well, no, it's gonna be like a competition between everyone. It's,
Yeah, it'll be Cassie versus Cassie.
Yeah, like if
Thanks.
you edit, then it's gonna be
Well, no, I'm gonna say Cassie's. I'm gonna edit. We know
Yeah.
that, but like, I just want to make you edit.
I just want to throw out a disclaimer here. Like the last episode, I talked about how like, oh, I don't do audio. Like I don't. It's not that I don't do it, and I know how to do audio because it's on my resume. but but I know how to do post production. I just have a lot of panic attacks while editing, which is why Luke is drained from editing with me.
Yeah.
I know how to use Premiere. I again put that on my resume, so cool. But
Well,
it's
I
just
mean-
it's not something that I'll willingly do.
My favorite when I was helping you edit was she would be like, all right, I need this to sync up and this done. I'm like, okay. So I do it, but I'm not going to do her project for her.
Bam, bam, bam.
So I just hit,
Control
I
Z.
did it. We would watch it. And then I would hit Command Z until it was undue. Be like, you have to do it now.
Oh, that's what.
Oh,
it was-
I'm
it
getting
was-
such a look right now.
It was mean. But I know I didn't.
But it
expect
made you
to do
learn.
I didn't expect you to do my project for me. Like I never.
Oh,
sat
no,
down
I
and
know
was like,
that.
Do this for me.
It's just when I would
You could
actually.
have just told me how to do it instead of just doing it and then
All right.
taking it away.
Do you want me to give you verbal commands on how to work Adobe Premiere? Because you know that's not easy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but just not that.
Well, you got your music video done. You got an A. So.
Yes, I did. So.
And you learned more about editing.
I was the only person to actually hand in my music video, by the way. So that's complete shade to everyone in my editing class.
Yes.
Great.
Farina's
Cool,
gonna be like,
cool.
oh my god, why would you do that? I love Farina,
Yeah.
hands down, most
Yeah.
bomb teacher ever. Well, that's a lie. Toby.
Oh, I love Toby Rosenthal. If you're listening, I
We love you.
Thank you for being the
Oh.
best comm mom.
Yes.
Com slaps.
Com studies slaps. That was
That
not.
was so off.
It's all right.
All right,
We're
suck.
not good.
Anyway.
Well, that's why we are com majors, not sports, because we're not coordinated enough.
We are
Well.
com majors, not sports.
We are not, in fact, a sport.
I want to get like a picture of Will's face, put it in black and white, and just say we are com majors, not sports. And then like that is my inspiration for everything now.
Just like my little Jets thing. Just end the suffering,
Yeah.
which is apparently a podcast. I'm gonna have to listen to it
Yeah.
just so they can end my suffering with being a New York Jet fan.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I mean, here
Honestly.
goes Will seeping sports
Yeah, I
into
know.
everything else.
Everything has to come back to sports.
Everything has to
But
come back
I'll-
to
I'm-
sports.
I'll
I'm
take
going-
it because it's about the Jets.
I'm going to not say anything because I have a sports podcast for that. So I'm
Yeah.
not doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Will.
Well, don't clap. That scares me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
that's a Toby move.
Yes.
Toby taught me.
We
that.
weren't allowed to clap in Toby's classes.
Because
We
it
had
could
to
be
softly-
triggering.
Yes. It's pretty triggering.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. But yeah. So I don't even know what we were even talking about beforehand.
I was just waiting for us to get on our first big tangent of the podcast because the first episode we were pretty on track.
Yeah, this one's just
And
all over the place.
this one we're just kind of like just talking. Like I hope people actually listen and aren't like, oh wow, they're unorganized, unlike the first episode.
I mean, let's just do a quick shout out. If you like what you're listening to, you can hit us up on our various social media pages, Facebook and Instagram. I almost said Twitter, but that's a lie.
Twitter will be coming soon. We're gonna wait on Twitter, but
yeah, we got to figure out how to run
tweet.
a Twitter.
well,
a
I think we want to focus
Twitter.
more on those Instagram and Facebook, get them running,
Yeah.
and then we can add on Twitter once there's more of a following. But
Yeah, running a Twitter for a business is a lot harder than you would think, because I run it for Stockton Manahawkin, and like it's just so neglected. Like no, I'm the only person who runs that page because nobody wants to, and it's kind of just like whatever I put on the Instagram, I kind of just copy and paste it and throw it on the Twitter. So I didn't really want to do that with
Yeah.
this.
I really appreciate you saying the Twitter.
The Twitter.
yeah,
It's like the Facebook.
It's like I meant like the Stockton Manahawkin Twitter. I just left out saying
yeah.
the big words.
But like Will was saying, we're on Facebook and Instagram.
You
Yes.
can follow us at Freelance Network Podcast.
Yes. And then we're also on Spreaker, and we're on iTunes and Spotify. And then obviously the episodes are on YouTube.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, and we have business cards coming soon.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just ordered them. It's
Yeah.
exciting.
If you don't want to comment on any of our social media pages, you can email us.
Yes. freelancenetworkpodcast@gmail.com.
We want, if you don't like it, tell us why you don't like it. If you like it, tell us why. If you want to be on it, shoot us an email. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
DM on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way.
Yeah, Cassie will see
slide
it.
in our DMs.
Yeah, I'll see it. I get everything sent to my phone, so I'm there. Living
her best life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Well, yeah. So last week we very vaguely said what we do, but I feel like to actually describe to people because most of our followers and our support right now are people that have met us at some point. So right now, I'll start, but I just want us to each kind of go through big projects we've done and things we've worked on and internships, that kind of stuff, because I feel like we really just scraped the surface on that, and this helps everybody get to know us better. So me personally, I'm more film centric, film track. I like narrative storytelling, documentary storytelling, that kind of stuff. And my big things that I've done recently, I interned with Oakleaf Media for about a year, and now I work with them freelance. And there I did editing, production assistant jobs, and pretty much just anything I could get my hands on, just trying to learn different stuff. And then I also worked on my senior thesis film, which was called Next Chapter. It was a romantic film, also kind of coming of age story. Coming of age movies are my favorite, so I really wanted to try that genre out. So that was what I've been working on recently. And then now it's mostly the podcast. I mean, I have some film ideas in the works and stuff, but I'm really been focusing on this and working at Stockton and working freelance jobs. So that's my main goal right now. But just because also we didn't do our social media handles too. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'm trying to remember because my Instagram and Twitter are slightly. Oh, Instagram, it's at Luke Mills 18. And then I also have a film account, which is at Luke Miller Film. And I kind of just post updates on there. I should post an update about this on that account.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, I made lower thirds, so if you're watching this on the YouTube, we should be popping those in.
Whoa,
Yes.
What lower
somewhere.
thirds?
Yeah,
did.
fancy.
That's news.
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Will doesn't look at the Google Drive to see what we're up to.
Yeah.
I look at it, I'm like, okay, there's nothing in it.
There is very organized folders labeled what everything is in it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a
You just
fake
have-
fan. I have to go in the Google Drive then.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
All right. Now, Will, what about you? Because I don't want to talk about myself anymore.
Yeah, so I'm very big in the sports. I follow football religiously. So if you ever want a football conversation, I literally know football. I run my podcast at We Are For The Fan. We upload Wednesday mornings. Then whenever they want to upload hockey, we're doing a couple little specials coming up. I currently am interning for the place next door, the 91.7 WLFR Pomona.
Lake Fred Radio.
Lake Fred Radio. I'm currently interning for my training from 2 to 3 on Mondays, but starting next week, I'll be getting my show from 8 to 9 in the morning. You can listen to us on WLFR.FM. Buy some merch. Help support.
Buy some merch.
Help support the radio station over there.
Merch drop.
The more money we get, then we can, upgrade a lot of equipment, make it rain.
We definitely need a lot of money for this program. If anybody's really rich and they're listening to this, can you please donate to our comm program? Because we definitely need
David
that.
Dobrik.
Or just donate to this
Honestly-
podcast so we can build our own studio.
Yeah. Just
That'd be-
And
that'd be
buy,
lit.
and buy an audience.
Or buy our own microphones because we have to drive down to campus to record this.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I mean, I
So-
have my own microphone. You two gotta.
Yeah, sorry, I'm poor. Okay.
Here goes Cassie playing victim again.
All right. Anyways,
Here we go.
Will, what's your Instagram if they want to follow you?
So you can follow my Twitter and Instagram. It's at Will Gethard. You will not know how to spell it. So if you put Will Get Hard into 3 words and you smash them together, you'll find it like that.
You said that in the worst way possible.
Well, I mean, that's how I have to tell people.
No, you don't have to use the word smash. You don't have to say them out loud. You can literally just be like, it's WILLGETHARD. Boom. Also,
It's-
there's a lower third on the screen right now. So
Yes.
So my lower third is just gonna rise up and have a
no,
little sad
no,
face
your
next
lower
to it.
third's gone now. I'm the editor, so
It's
I'm gonna make
now-
it go away.
You just put
It's
a
gone.
whole. You just
It's
slapped
gone.
You just slapped a big frowny face on it and just slowly fades back in.
Follow
Nope.
that John Cena.
Yeah.
Follow.
I mean, you should follow John Cena.
Yes,
but
please do.
Motivational.
All right, Cassie, what about you before Will just starts saying more things?
Okay. So, I mean, I feel like in the first episode, I kind of touched on what I do a little bit, but I'll still reiterate it. So my main job right now is I work for the Manahawkin campus for Stockton, and I run their social media. I'm pretty much like the main person that runs their Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. So I have the social media aspect of the career. I also am a production assistant at Ocean County College. Whenever they have like big events or like plays or anything and they have to film it, they usually call me up and I show up, set up a camera, show my professors, now students, how to use the cameras and stuff.
Well, because you're almost like an assistant director or like producer because like you help everything.
She's a
Go
veteran of the
smoothly.
program.
I've directed a lot of productions. It's a lot of field work more than studio, even though I usually am in studio work. But yeah, so I do the production assistant for that. And I also was an intern, which I touched on in the last episode. I was an intern for Stockton's TV channel. And we filmed 3 TV shows a week in the basement of the library. And I worked on any position in the studio for that. I did.
What are the shows you did?
We did.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
What are the shows you did?
We're literate.
Did. We filmed Latino Motion with Bert Lopez. Love Bert. Shout out to Bert. South Jersey Business with Joe Molyneux. And we did the Press of Atlantic City's 30, their online virtual magazine show. So we did those shows, once a week. And yeah, it was a pretty chill internship, but it really got me prepared for the real world. And I just earlier in this episode mentioned that I just applied for Jimmy Fallon's internship. So I'm trying to find an internship for the spring semester, ideally with NBC, but obviously I'm going to have to look around and find another one off campus. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that from here on out, like each episode will either be a guest or we're going to have like a topic that we'll remember.
Yes.
Unlike motivation, he forgot. But like I think it's either going to be like featuring somebody and we're going to interview them about what they do, which each time we interview someone, we'll link them to all their work. So before you listen or watch, you can check it out, or you can just listen first and then check it out after. Or it'll just be like a kind of a topic that we can just discuss with ourselves or with a guest as well too. Just because like going forward, like that could be like the format. And I think that we're off to a good start. And now after listening to the first 2, I think everybody knows us pretty well.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to keep the ball rolling and keep going and getting bigger and bigger. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Cool.
it's all cool now.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
mean,
cool in the hood.
Like every good podcast at the end, we should thank some people.
So, Cassie, who do you want to thank?
I want to thank John Cena for that follow, man. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still
I think
starstruck about that.
Yeah, I want to thank him too, but I'm not going to be like, that's my thank you. But
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
who's your thank you?
my thank you, my mom, because she always just shares all my work. She's just like, look at what my son
She
did.
does.
Yeah, she does.
This is what my son did. And she would like post it on Facebook and all that. Like, listen in. She invites all her friends to like the
She
pages.
does. She does.
She's a real G.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd like to thank my boss from Oakleaf, Brendan, because he always hypes me up whenever I want to do some kind of a new project. And whenever we have a really long car ride, we talk about like any movie idea we have. And then I told him about the podcast, and he got really excited and hyped for me. So wanted to shout him out. And Will, you should thank Jay, because Jay's our guy.
I want to thank Jay because he said, you got the okay, you can upload on here.
Yeah.
And he's going to get on here.
Yeah.
And that's going to be quite the
Yeah, but
conversation.
Will, who is he?
So Jay always like tweets like stuff motivational.
His name is Jay Aledo, and he runs
He runs
pwpnation.com.
pwpnation.com.
Follow him at Twitter
You can
at
follow-
Jay Aledo.
And at PWP Nation, donate on their Patreon. You can help us stay on Spreaker, which will get distributed out to everywhere else. And you'll help him a lot. He creates content. Yeah. He creates a lot of stuff. He tweets out wrestling stuff. He's a big WWE fan. Well, really all wrestling in general.
But just like a shout out to him because he's giving us the platform to bring it out. as a podcast, because like our YouTube page did pretty good for the first episode, and I'm happy about
Gotta
that.
keep those numbers going up.
Yeah, but I think that being on Spotify and iTunes will be a big help. Just help us reaching more people and making it easier to listen to because in the car. So, yeah. So thank you everybody for
Yes,
watching
thank
us
you.
on episode 2. And I'm not really sure if we're gonna do like one a week or more than one. We're gonna kind of iron out details and just try stuff out in the meantime.
Yeah, like right now it's just, whatever content's flowing in. I guess that's what we're just
Yeah,
gonna play
like
with.
I think it's safe to say there'll be one a week.
Yeah, we just have to organize our guest list a little bit better. We have a bunch of people that say they want to be on, but we need like more details.
Scheduling,
When-
Make a
that kind of
sign-up
stuff.
list.
Yeah, so definitely, but we will have tons of
Like
content.
I think
with
it's safe to
guests,
say
so-
the next episode could be our first guest.
Yeah.
If not, we'll come up with a good topic to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
But
yeah.
hopefully we'll remember it.
Yeah, no, but thank you for listening, watching, supporting us, and yeah, absolutely, spread the word.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
All